It takes faith to make your dreams come true. Life is something special right here for you. Everything has a season, a reason to grow. So don't be discouraged by your obstacles. There's our theme song. And never give up your right to be happy. Never give up. Be all you are meant to be. Things will always come to get us down, and it only gets worse when we start to frown. Let's keep hope alive in our hearts. Smile with gratitude, that's when the magic starts. And never give up your right to be happy. Never give up. Be all you are meant to be. Never give up your right to be happy. No, never give up. It's your life for eternity. Never be defeated even if you are mistreated. Stand your ground right where you are. Don't give up on your dreams no matter how hard it seems. Move forward and follow your heart. Follow your heart. And never give up your right to be happy. Never give up to be all you are meant to be. I'll never give up my right to be happy. No, I'll never give up. It's my life for eternity. I'll never give up. Never give up, never give up. Never give up, never give up. Never give up, never give up, never give up. You say it. Never give up, 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 never give up. It started because
What's going on? Jim Hall here. We are kicking it off today on Freedom Friday, and we are going live today. We are going to be talking about get response and how to build a list using the HBA funnel builder. And I may have some guests show up. You know, I share this information out to quite a few people. I have several thousand people on my list that may stop by, and we are starting to share this page out to others so that it can be used as a sales tool. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jim Hall. I know I haven't really introduced myself much this week. I'm just assuming that, you know, just since we're just getting started, not a whole lot of people are stopping by, and those that do already know who I am. But I've been in the home business internet marketing space for really, I mean, the home business part since I was very young, a child. You know, I had a grape juice stand when I was a kid, and then I sold door to door and sold some kind of like a school fundraiser thing that I got a cash prize for, and I got a telescope for doing, and I delivered all these prizes, or not prizes, but products, to houses around my neighborhood. And that's kind of where I started off. And then from there, I've done many opportunities. I've made a lot of money. Of course, on the way, there's been lots of failures as well, but I've made a lot of money. Over the years, we have made some good choices and paid off our house and our car. And we've been job free now for a couple of years. And this is what we do full time, right? Usually a couple hours a day is what I work. If I want to take a day off, I take a day off. If we want to go somewhere, we go somewhere, and that's just the way it works, right? A lot of the stuff that we do is automated by things like the autoresponder that we're going to talk about today, and it helps us to do our business without having to be attached to our things. We take days off, we take weeks off sometimes, and sometimes we work for 16, 18 hours a day. Just depends on how we feel about it. I love helping people. There's a lot of people that I help that I have no monetary value attached to whatsoever. There's a lot of people I help that I do have monetary value attached to. So if you're here because I have invited you here because you're on my team, then welcome to you. If you're here because you're a friend of mine or a friend of mine, welcome to you. I'll treat you all the same and help you through your struggles. I did notice that I have a bit of a struggle right now with my ums, so I am trying to be a little more mindful of it to try to reduce that out of my speech pattern. Since I'm live, I can't edit it out like I do out of my normal recordings, which I do edit it out a lot. So it has become maybe a little bit of an issue because of that. Hey, look at that. Mr. Never Give Up himself is logging in, or Mrs. I don't know yet. I don't see who it is. May not have been here early enough to see that I played their song today as the intro. How you doing, Christian? You're muted.
Thank you.
If you look down here, I have you guys on stage. You were my intro music today, so that's how we started off today. I played the other song actually before this one, the Never Give Up song. And that's how we started off the live today. And let me stop my share real quick. And I was just introducing myself and getting going here. Glad you could make it, because today we're covering your I wouldn't say it's a problem, right? It's just what you're having a little sticky point with in your business. So that's what I like to do is help out and get people unstuck, learn their situations. And I did say I'm trying to work on this thing. I just said that a second ago. So trying to be a little more mindful of that, because normally I edit that out, but since we're live, it's a little more challenging to edit the feed. So just trying to be a little more mindful of it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show real quickly the page that we're using and explain it so that people that are here understand, and then we'll get into our content. So bear with me a moment, Christian, and I'll share this, and maybe you'll learn from it too, because you may not know yet. But the page that we're using to broadcast this signal on right now is this page right here. And I did send you the link to this page. This is that live link. So the way this page works is this video is coming out across right now, you can see. And this button right here will code back to you based on your token here. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom first. All the way down here at the bottom is a little box that you can put in your token. And like, for instance, I'm going to put in here, never give up. And what happens is when you press this red button, this changes the link up here. Now it says never give up. So you can put your token in there and it will change your HBA token, the end of your affiliate code. And that's all you need, is just the very end of it. And what happens is that makes this button, it'll pop up down here. You'll see it. It'll pop up and it says never give up on the end. So This now goes over to the all-in-one business, which would be coded with your affiliate token on there. So
Okay.
all of these lives are able to be coded to whoever sends them here. Now, the significance of that is that you can then take this link and send it out in your list and talk about what we talked about today and say, hey, you know, I was on with Jim today. I learned all about how to use GetResponse to build my list or how to send my newsletters. And he also talked about how you can join the company that I'm in and make 80% commissions. And so this is how you get involved into HBA, which is what we talk about on a normal basis. On the same page, there is a box here that you can leave a comment or a question for, and we will cover it either on today's live or the next live. And then there's also yesterday's replay is here, the day before's replay is here, and the day before that's replay is here. And then there's some more information about HBA, Paul, Amy, Robin, Hernando. Sorry, don't know his name right now. And then just a bunch more information. They do pay 80% commissions. This is a little bit outdated. It's a little over 4.4 million now. And Feed My Starving Children, the check we gave out, and then a bunch of social proof of other people making sales here. And then, like I showed down here, oh, there is a little Q&A box. And each one of these buttons will code to you as you come through. So if you get started with us, I'm going to click back and scroll back down there. You get started with us, and whoops, it still didn't come up. That's okay. So that code right there is what we're really. So then all you got to do is take this, copy that, and then take it over to your email. If you want to use it in your Facebook, you'll have to get with me or watch yesterday's training on how to make that work in your Facebook, because there is a little bit of a caveat that it's breaking it in Facebook right now. So just know that, but it does work for your list and you can send it out that way and we will do our best to make sales for you. So that's that. And if you are anywhere else, like if you are on my YouTube, there's the link to this page is in the description. And if you are in my group, the link to this page is in the description. And if you're in the group, the link to the actual Zoom is in there also. So you can hop on the Zoom if you want and ask questions and participate. You don't need to. I do refresh once in a while and check these questions and see if anybody has any comments. Let me stop my share and see what Kevin has commented. We were just talking about him coming on. Okay. And all right. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get right into the content. Let me ask first, Christian, is there anything specific about GetResponse that is like really giving you a booger?
For what I'm trying to do, I think I pretty much have it.
Okay.
As far as how to pick out the templates, I guess.
Okay.
My main thing that I'm looking to do is get the right template to put the information on to basically just get out to the people who are interested in seeing the newsletter.
Okay.
And I've never done a newsletter before, so I'm just kind of going through the motions right now of actually launching it, I guess.
Okay.
It's the correct word.
Sounds good. So we'll start there. Templates are a little bit of my weak point because in affiliate marketing, we don't actually really use templates very much because we normally use just a white email, you know. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll hop into that portion of it first, and then I'll kind of back up and then go through some hints and tips and that kind of stuff as the rest of the content for today. So I'm in my GetResponse right now.
Mhm.
When I use GetResponse, I always use this contacts button. You can get to everywhere within GetResponse from this contacts button. It's the best way to navigate. It can let you access every part of it. So then in order to send out a newsletter, you go to whatever list you want to go to, come right over here to your three dots and go to show newsletters. And then you would go into create your newsletter. Now, what I would normally do is I would come here to my yesterday's newsletter and I would reuse a newsletter. And that would let me use all of the features, setups, and everything that I had yesterday. But because we're going to talk about templates, I'm going to go ahead and create a newsletter. And now you could do either way. You could do with the AI email generator, which would actually probably help you a little bit with the template because it'll ask you some questions, or you could do it yourself. And then by doing it yourself, it's going to come in here. It's going to let you set all this stuff up. One thing you want to make sure you do here is keep this on the list that you were intending to send from. So I have lots of lists. Most people don't, but your linked list here is where this will sit at when it's sent out. This isn't necessarily where it sends to. Where it sends to is going to be from the recipients area. So you want to add your recipients, and then you're going to add them to all your different lists. And again, I have a ton of lists. Most people do not have so many lists. The way I do mine is I check all my lists, and then I come down here and I check off. I will filter by WAHBB, and I take all of those off because that is Christie's lists. And that way I don't end up sending out to Christie's people. Then we can go, of course, we can work on our subject line. Your from and reply should be, since you're sending for someone else, you may have to adjust this as far as your from and reply, depending on if you're sending from you or if you're sending from someone else's email address. Because you did say you're sending for somebody else, Christian?
No, I'm going to send it from me.
Okay.
Because I am the person who is contacting everyone.
Gotcha.
I'm doing the newsletter and everyone's aware of that. And also another thing, I don't have any of their emails inside of my Get Response that I know of. I have their emails in my regular Gmail accounts.
Okay. So you'll have to subscribe them in some way, shape, or form, whether you want to do that by creating a form to do that. And I'll show you the way I would probably do it. Or if you want to add them one by one, and I'll show those steps also.
Yeah, I'll probably add it one by one. It's only maybe about 5 people so far because I have to get their approval before I can send it out to the rest of the community. So this again is a crime watch and prevention newsletter, just giving people updates, statuses, anything that happened in the neighborhood that they want to be aware of. I'm just really being a messenger. I'm a liaison between the Dallas Police Department and our community in Lakewood Heights.
Okay, sounds good. So then, of course, you're going to put in your subject line, and then this second preview text subject line is like a secondary subject line. And basically, if you don't put anything here, it's going to pull this line from the top of your email address. I mean, from the top of your email body, right? So sometimes this is pretty good to put in there. Like I'll put stuff like, come and watch me now in here, where that may not work too good to be the top of my email. So I like to point that out. If you don't put anything in here, it'll just grab the top of your email, which might say, hey, Jim, come, how you doing today? And so it may not work real well in there like that. So anyways, that's what that's for. And then, of course, your subject line is whatever you would want. And you do have your AI generator there. And then we would come down here to your design message. And this is where you would start to pick your template. Now, in our industry, like I said, what I would normally do is go into our blank templates and use one of these style of templates.
Okay.
And that may work for what you want, but you probably want to pretty it up a little bit, right? So you could come in here to the pre-designed templates, and let's see if we can preview, see if we could do like a let's see if there's any kind of neighborhood. No neighbor.
I did it, and I'm not opposed to just doing a straight ahead one without all the thrills and frills. I mean, I like all the stuff that is available. However, I just want to make sure that they get the message more
Right,
than
right. I would probably look for something like a business. Oh, that's not going to come up either. Maybe they just don't come up this way. See, they got some that are called Christmas. Yeah, the Christmas ones are coming up. So let's see if anything like something like contemporary. So that's content promotion. Let's just go with simple, see if that comes up. So you could go with something like this. And basically what you're getting is, some added in stuff. And so just like the funnel builder, right? You're going to go through and you're going to look for something that resonates with you. And then you're going to decide if what is in there works, right? So let's say for instance we went with this, preview this one, and does something like that work? You've got some blue, you've got some yellow, and a little different as far as letters go. And then what happens to me most times is once I pick a template, even in the funnel builder, I end up throwing almost all of it away. So I'm usually better off starting with nothing, right? Or same thing. Or do you need all of these kinds of things? Probably you don't need any of this kind of stuff, right? So what you can do is just start. We'll see if there's anything clean, pretty clean. Here's one that's pretty clean. Preview this one. Let me preview. Yeah. The logo, bring your ideas to the table, 1-minute survey. We can use this one. It's pretty clean, and see if we can start with something like that. Now, a lot of times I get rid of this logo anyways. So I come in here and same thing. We're going to end up deleting the logo because that's not going to work for us. So we'll delete that out. You might be able to.
I have a logo that I'm going to use that they for the neighborhood association.
Right.
We'll put into the
newsletter.
Okay.
So I'll go back. We'll go back one and see if we can. So we can replace this, and then we could just throw this logo on there for now. So you see how that works. And then here you have your size where you can adjust it down. Here you have your image alignment. You can change whether it's left or right. You got your little lock right here that will let you adjust it without adjusting both sides. So if you wanted to change it up a little bit, you probably wouldn't, but that's an option there. Now, one thing I always tell everybody, if you're going to put a picture in, always add a link that goes somewhere. Okay. Because otherwise there's really no reason to add a picture. That's to me, that's the only reason that you add a picture, is to get a link in there, because people love to click on pictures, right? So that's to me why you're putting one in there. So you could go, google.com, get you a link in there, and then you got your next image here. Now, one thing that you may not know, a lot of people don't know, is there's this sections thing here. And the sections thing will let you put in these like columns, like in the funnel builder. Okay. So you've got a 6-column, a 5-column, a 4-column. Now, what I tend to use is these 2 columns is about the extent of it in emails. And then this will let you do stuff like this, where you can now put in a picture. Now, once you get this section in there, you got to then drag in a picture. And then you also have to go back and drag in a text so that you can have picture and text side by side. Okay, so that's pretty useful for that. I couldn't imagine very many uses where you would go 6 or 5 columns. I mean, 2 columns is about the extent of it. You can see it's pretty small even at 2 columns. So delete that out. Of course, you've got your text here. You've got all your different, you could add custom fonts, same way like you would with the funnel builder. You've got a bunch of different fonts you can choose from, a fallback font, because a lot of people don't know this also. Just because this font is in here does not mean the font is on their computer. So if the font is not on their computer, it still won't show right. That's what I don't like about using fonts on like the funnel builder, because you won't get the right font unless you actually put a picture in. Because and if you're using any kind of, like, if you use, say, Disney font, this probably doesn't have Disney, but if you use like a Disney font and you went and purchased it and downloaded it, nobody else is going to have that on their computer, so it's not going to show up that way unless you turn it into an image. So that's what this fallback font is for. So if you use Disney here, you would use Arial to make sure that it showed up as something, and then that would work, which is kind of silly, but it is what it is. Let's see what else. One of the big things most people struggle with is this first name thing. In order to get that in there, you want to use this little guy up here. So wherever you want to put that first name thing, you use this little guy, and then come down here to the first name and pop him in there like that. See how I did that? That way, that will put in, if you put in their first name, that will put in their first name. If you don't have their first name, one thing I try not to do is, you see this comma right here? I tend to not use commas, because that way, if the first name isn't in there, it won't look like you tried to put a first name in there, because that comma is going to stay there. But if the first name is not in the database, it's not going to put anything. And then that high comma is going to be weird sometimes. You know what I mean? So I tend to just not use a comma and go with it. Then this button, in this case, you can drag a button in. Let me think about how you do it normally. Come back in here. You've got a button that's right here. So if you wanted a button anywhere, you could drag it in just like the funnel builder. Then you make your button, shape it up. In this case, you've got a button that's a little more shapy, so you could change it around. You've got your button text here, your different text style, size, color, shape down here if you wanted it more blocky or different rounded. And then your button size, small, medium, large. And of course, your button alignment, if you wanted to go different ways with it. There are, of course, advanced settings, and this goes into like your padding, your different sizes for top and bottom, so you can make everything a little different. It's just an email, so you don't have to get super technical with it by any means. And then these, you're probably going to delete those out. There's probably no reason, unless you might have a Facebook group or a page for the community, right? But probably don't. And then but you certainly don't have a YouTube and a and a Twitter and all that stuff. So I would probably just delete that out. And then the same thing, you've got your sections, and then you've got your basic blocks. And then your basic blocks are your text. So you're going to add your text in wherever you need. You're going to add your images in wherever you need. And the way I'm just going to delete everything. And I'll show you the way that I would typically format this. I would typically do like a text, and then I would do like an image, and then I would do like a text, and then I would do a section, probably like this one. And of course, this always is a pain in the butt because it doesn't like to go where you want it to. So then sometimes you can drag it up here, sometimes not. You got to end up messing this all around. Let's see. I'll see if we can't move down below that. I don't know why this has this problem sometimes. Okay, we're going to try a different one of those. Let's go with this one. Nope. Something about this block that does not like that block. Nope. And this is pretty common for some reason. But you can't delete this block because it's your unsubscribe block. Now that it's in there, I can't delete it at all. So let's go back. Okay, let's try that. Layout in sections. Come on. Here, we'll drop it there and then see if we can move this stuff. Oh, I see what it is. So let's move this. Oh, it's not going to be that. Okay. So anyways, sometimes this happens, and I don't know how you fix it. You got to start over, I guess. This block can be a pain in the butt sometimes. So if you have this problem, just disregard that block. Just use another text, and then that will be where you put. What I end up doing is I use a text and then an image and then a text. Then I use my signature line and then I use my PS line. Okay. And that's the basic format. Now you could do whatever you wanted in there. You could use your images here and do you know, to just break it up a little bit. And then so you're putting in your hey, first name, some of the story here. Leading up to the image, and then the rest of the story, right? Basically is the format of most of my emails. And then talk soon, Jim, yes, check out this offer, right? And that, I mean, all in all, is an email, right? So it just depends on what you need to do from there as far as sprucing it up. The same thing again, make sure you add your link here, google.com, if you're linking to anything, right? Because the thing you're sending out may not even have any links unless you have some, you know, maybe you want to send them a link to the police department or something like that. And, you know, so you may have some resources for them. You may even, depending if you can, build them some sort of resource page that you click them over to. I know that when I was in the military, I built some pages out for the military, but of course, everything had to be looked at before I could send anybody anywhere because, you know, they weren't my pages. So, so there's that. Okay. Now, once you get done with this, you're going to go next. And this block up here, I forgot to mention this block. This is for your own personal use. So you might put neighborhood watch, email 1, or January newsletter, you know, so you know what it is. And nobody will see this except for you. They'll only see the subject line. So Jan newsletter. And then, of course, now, some of the important things of this is how do you send it? Now, you can send it immediately. You could send it with perfect timing. Now, these people probably have never had an email sent to them before, right? They're not even on the list yet. So perfect timing won't do any good. What perfect timing does is it learns when they open. So as you do get a list, it is pretty useful to use this perfect timing, especially if it's not anything that has a timing connected to it. For instance, you wouldn't want to use this if you were having a webinar because you want them to know, you know, the webinar starts in 30 minutes. So you don't want them to be opening it after the webinar. But this perfect timing will increase open rates for anything that's not like pertinent timed. Otherwise, you can use this schedule for later. And of course, you could use, whatever time you want. Now, there's also something in here called time travel. And what time travel does is, let's say that you want to send out something that says, hey, good morning. You can set this up to say at 6 o'clock in the morning. And then, now this isn't really pertinent for your neighborhood thing, but for us around the world, you can click this time travel, and now that's going to send this out at 6:30. Well, you want to make sure it's in the AM, right? 6:30 AM tomorrow, all around the whole world, right? And this will then send it out so that it says good morning to each person in their time zone. And that is what time travel does. So that's pretty cool if you want to do something like that. Other than that, of course, you have send immediately, and you could go that route, and that will just send it straight out. If it's 2:30 and your webinar is coming up at 3 o'clock, then you could just send out immediately, and that's pretty useful timing. That's something that I usually do on my daily webinars. Another thing I do a lot is I do schedule for later, and I will set up my emails to go out at 12:01. Let's go back to this, 12:01 AM. So this is right after midnight, right? And then this would be tomorrow. And then I do perfect timing. And then that will then send it out tomorrow sometime whenever it's learned when they've opened. So that's the way I do most of my emails if I'm not sending them out for something in particular. So that's a good way to do it. And it's a lot harder to overlap. What happens a lot with perfect timing is you tend to overlap, because tomorrow when you come in here to send an email, you forget that you've got one out on perfect timing, and you send it out, and now you've got two emails that are in lieu of each other, and they'll send them both at the same time if you put them on perfect timing. So as long as you send both of them at midnight or 12:01, you don't have that overlap happening. So couple of useful things there as far as scheduling goes. And that's about it as far as newsletters go. Let's see what else I can tell you. If we go back, now, like I said, once you get all that set up, you've sent out your first newsletter. It's whatever time period, you got to send out another one. All you got to do is come back in here and push reuse. And all of this stuff is going to be in there for you already. Your recipients, even your email is going to be in there. So your email that's all set up, the formatting, the template, all of that is going to be in there for you already. So all you have to do is change your subject line. You might change this a little bit. Like you see in most of mine, I think like 6 or 8 of them still said just today's live. And so all the rest of this, I just changed this a little bit. Like today, my email was 3 steps to building a business online. Come and find out live, right? Then I came in here. I did a little bit of editing my message. Happy Freedom Friday, first name. I did use a comma there, like I said not to. Now you see how that wouldn't be too bad, I guess, because it is at least the end of the sentence. And then I just do my email, and I got my email, and then this one I only did one text block, and then this double thing here. So again, really simple. And I'm not gonna send this out because I've already sent this out today. But one other thing is this thing, you can also put in a first name here with this. And for some reason, it doesn't put in the little bubbly here. It puts in that thing. But that thing, if you copy this and put it in the body, this will not work in the body. So don't get caught doing that. You got to put in that little bubbly thing in the body. So keep that in mind. That will not work in the body. And let's see. So I'm going to come back out of here. Like I said, I always use contacts to go to everything. Let me stop my share for a minute, see if there's anything specific that you could learn more of. How we doing? It's a lot of information, I know.
Doing good. And how do you import the email into?
Okay, let me show you those couple of ways. So, since you only have a couple, what I would do is go back down here. So there's a couple of ways you can add contacts right here, and this will let you do them one by one. Okay. Now, when you do that, you're going to have to select your list, which in my case, I have a bunch of lists, right? So it's a little bit of a pain. But you can also search right here, which doesn't hurt too much. And then the thing you got to keep in mind is if you have a list with an autoresponder, you have to click this button here and select your autoresponder. Okay. This list that you're talking about probably won't have an autoresponder. So you won't have that option there. Then you put in their email and their name, their phone number. If you want to put it in, you don't have to put it in. And then this, I have permission to add these people to my list. And then you can save and add another one if you have multiple to do, or you can just save and go back to the lists. Now, another way to do that is you can go straight in, like, let's say I want to add it right to here. I can add contacts straight into this list by going to the dots, and it's already selected my list. So once you do get more on your list, that's a little bit easier of a way to do it. Okay. Now, another way to do it is if you have a bunch, or like we do with groups, the way that we do it is I built a page with a form, and I open it in an incognito window, and I even password protect it so that GetResponse can't come in here and check it out. And I put in a form that then refreshes the thank you page is the same page. Okay. So let's say I put in Jim and then my email address, and then I push submit. This joins them to my list, and you didn't really see it, but the thank you page says go right back to this page, and now I can put in another one. So if you had a bunch to do, this is the way to do it. This is not necessarily legal. So you got to be a little cautious with this because you are using your API to join people into your GetResponse this way. And they can track this. I would not recommend doing more than say 50 or so a day at this. But this is the way that we do our groups. It's my Jim Rohn Quotes group, my John Maxwell Quotes group, Christie's Bakery group. And all you really need to do is put a form on your page. I'll show it in the funnel builder real quick. Basically, what you want to do is make a new page. New form. And I'm going to start calling them delete this. Saw somebody else do that. I think it was Matthew Martin. Instead of calling it live. Then all you got to do is pull in this form and then just delete the subject, the message. And then, of course, don't really matter, but we can shrink it down. And then what we'll do is for our settings, we'll make the thank you page come right here to this new form, delete this. And then we would make the GetResponse settings be whatever that list is that we need. And then just like that, we've got a system set up to go ahead and add them in there like that. So that's super simple. The only other thing that I would sort of recommend, if you were using this a lot for like your group, I would recommend that you go ahead and go in and password protect it. Just so that you can, and all you got to do is come in here and password protect it, and just 1111 save, and that way GetResponse can't look and see that you're doing it yourself. It'll seem like it's a behind a membership site or something, so they won't question it too much. And that would be that. And then I still normally open these in an incognito window. just because that also helps to keep you from being tracked. So same thing. Now we have 111. We're on there, and you can start putting them in. And this is a little easier than doing it through the list that way. So that's some options. That's an easy option. And especially, like I said, if you're using it a lot, that's the way I would do it. If you're only using it, if you're putting in a person a month, that's not that big a deal. But for our groups, I mean, we were usually adding about 20 people a day, so you got to do something to get them in there quick. So what's going on? Anything else you need?
I think when you make the list, so I don't even have a list made.
Okay.
So where would I go to actually just get the list started, so that when I do add it, and I can pop up the list and it's there?
Okay. Simple. So when you go, oh, my battery's low on my headphones. That's okay. Hopefully it'll hang on. So to create a list is super simple now. It's right here. And again, I go to contacts all the time. Right here is create a list. And then you can type in your list name, and it can be anything you want it to be. Used to, there were a lot of variances that made it hard to type in, but you could use anything you want. Obviously, the better you name it, the better it is, because they will see this, right? If when they go to unsubscribe, they'll see the name of this list. So if you made it, let's say you just made it never give up list, right? Even for your business, if you just made it never give up list and they saw this, that may not tell them enough information, so they may just unsubscribe, right? But if you made this I don't know, neighborhood watch, and maybe even had like a district or something, district 6, just say, for instance. And then we're going to go ahead and create this. Then what you can also do is you can come down here. Mine always go to the bottom. I don't think everybody's does, but then you can come in here to the settings. And if you put in a little more information, like we can copy this down to the list title, and then the list description, we can say this list is all about the neighborhood watch, and it is run by Christian. If you want to stay up to date, you better not unsubscribe, or you could become a victim. Right now, who's going to unsubscribe from that? But they'll see this, the list title or the list name, one of the two. I don't know exactly which one. I know they see one or maybe both of these, and the list description when they go to unsubscribe from your list. So the more information you can give them here, probably don't really need to choose a category. Even your logo here might help, and you could put a website. I don't think you necessarily need one, but this information is basically your last resort. It's what shows up when people click on your unsubscribe button. So it is pretty valuable as far as that goes. And I have started using it a little bit more since I learned that, because, sometimes your name, definitely your, WAHBB as a list name is probably not enough information, right? So we need to get better at that. And we have started getting better. You can see a lot of these down here have a lot more information and better names. So it should help. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that out. Anything else I could think of? There really isn't. It's not as complicated as I think some people think it is, you know. Um, the biggest thing is just getting in there and doing it and getting consistency so it becomes easier, and that will help a lot. Once you do that, then I write an email sometimes several a day, so it's pretty easy. I don't even really think too much about it anymore. Just log in, tap one out, and normally, like I showed, I normally reuse one from yesterday and just add a few lines, subtract a few things and go on about my day. Uh, Especially if it's something like this. If I'm attaching it to a live like this, a little bit of information to let them know what I'm doing, and they can come on by and see what's going on. So with that, let me check and see if anybody has any comments. No comments down here. And I'll check the Facebook group, see if anybody's commented in there. Nope. Okay. What you think? Anything else?
That was a great overview. I think really I just got to get my feet wet and just get it started and just take it from there. I have
Cool.
everything lined up, the logos for the community, so I just need to add those pictures and then just type in the text, put in the text.
Awesome.
Then
Let me show a few other things just for content for the live. If you're an HBA member or thinking about being an HBA member, the way that this all kind of comes together is you use one of our pages, and instead of doing a blank page like I did before, you start with something like this, or maybe something like this. We have a lot of different ones, like the all-in-one digital business, where you have a capture page, looks like something like this. And you see, it's basically the same as that form that I just created. You've got a form on a page with a little bit of information. This form connects to the list, just like you saw before. We created a list. The only thing we really didn't do, I guess, is connected it to GetResponse, right? Which is pretty simple. You come in here to your applications, you click on settings and you add an application, click on your settings and your GetResponse and add the API key. The API key is found in your tools here.
Are you sharing your screen?
Nope, I'm sure not. Why would I be sharing my screen? Let me start over with that little run. So while I'm here in GetResponse, the API key will be found right here under integrations and API, which is right here in tools. This is the two things that are not found in contacts, is your API, which is right here, and your emails and your domains. So pretty much everything else that you'll ever use in GetResponse is found under contacts, except for your API and your emails. And then as far as in your funnel builder, you come here to your funnel settings, go to your applications, add an application, come down here and click on GetResponse. Mine's not here because it's already connected. And then click on settings and you'll put in your API there. And then, like I showed before, you start a new funnel. You add a new step down here. And if yours is, if you're just getting started, it's going to be pretty much no funnels in there. Maybe actually have this funnel in there already. I'm going to preview it just so you see. There's just a little bit of information on the page, a picture, a little more stuff to learn about, a form, and then this form you'll connect like we connected that other form. This one just looks a little better because you're going to be sending it to people that are going to see it, and then you could use something like that. Then there's a whole slew of other ones, right? So there's lead capture, you got the best landing page builder you'll ever need. You could go with something like this that has your capture portion to the left, and then you just replace the image. All of this stuff is editable 100%. Every single block is just, you select a portion and then put in your own information. So they're all just set up as templates, pretty much just like was inside of GetResponse. They're just templates that you recreate as you go. And then there's thank you pages to go on the next step, whole bunch of different ones. Some really cool ones too are down here in the template club. There's a bunch of different capture pages, a bunch of different thank you pages. So you have all of this stuff to use. And this is all included. You know, look how many pages of different templates there are. This is all included with the same $25 fee, monthly fee for the funnel builder. 25 bucks a month for unlimited access to all of this. So it's a really great deal. And it's super easy to use, like we were showing, especially if you're using GetResponse, because there's so much training that I do and a whole bunch of other people do, you know. So the training inside of the back office shows GetResponse a lot. And then you got pages like this. There's links pages and all other sorts of pages that you can use as well. So let me go ahead and show again the page that you're on. This page here is the page that can help you get started with HBA if you're not already part of the community. You can click this button right here. That will bring you over to the all-in-one business package where you get the funnel builder and a bunch of bonuses. And so you'll click the button over here that says, yes, I want access for $25. I like to tell people to consider this box right here. You get 14 days free of the premium traffic and conversions, where we have masterminds every day, and you get all kinds of training on YouTube and short form video, like TikTok and Reels. You get training on Facebook. You get tons of training on all kinds of ways to get traffic to your pages. And so that's a great value. You get 2 weeks for free. It does rebill at $125 a month, but it does also pay 80% commissions when you sell that to someone else. So you get $100 a month for everyone that you help to get started using that. So it's a great deal. It's a great product. And it's the way that you can start to get to, if you get 25 customers at that level, you could be making $3,000 a month that way. So pretty powerful business opportunity. All right, I'm going to stop my share. Hope that was valuable for you.
That was awesome and amazing.
Awesome and amazing. Freedom Friday.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate the time, Jim. Yep, that's what I needed, just to get a jump start on it and just to put it together. You know, it's time.
Yeah, get her done. Get her done.
Get her done.
That's it. All right.
Trying to
Well,
work on my new background here.
What's that?
Trying to work on my new background here. I'm trying to find a
Yeah.
place that's not too.
I got 4 bookshelves that are going to go along the back here, and then put up all our books and stuff. So yeah.
Hide all this stuff here though, some kind of way. I don't know how. But... and I put a wall there or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I also have we brought our green screen and red screen across on a draw.
Okay, yeah.
And then we decided to go with bookshelves too. So so we got lots of options now.
Yeah, okay. That's what I might have to do. Put a background green screen somewhere.
Yeah, and I went with a red one for mine because I like green a lot. So I wear green a lot. I got a green hat. Yeah. I got this little jalapeno on a stick I like to show people sometimes, and he disappears on a green screen, you know, so but he don't disappear on the red screen.
That's right.
Pretty cool. And then she's got a green screen coming across from her way, so
yeah.
Yep. Got it all set up.
All set up.
Yep. Living the dream.
That's it. Working from home.
Yep. When we want. We don't even work too much. I mean, we, you know, sometimes we do. I was I was saying that at the beginning of this. Sometimes we work 16, 18 hours and it's like, whoa, where'd the day go? You know, and sometimes it's like, I mean, between like Thanksgiving and Christmas, it was like we didn't even come into the computer room, you know, and it was like, oh well. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, bud. I'm gonna get going. It's Freedom Friday. I'm gonna have Chinese food tonight. So
Woo-wee. Sounds
oh
good.
yeah.
I might have that myself. At least some Chinese or Thai food sounds real good.
Right? Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have any good, but we got decent. We got we got okay Chinese food. I don't think we have any Thai food around
Wow.
the little city that we're in. So, but we got two sushi places that are terrible, so we don't go to them either. So, all right, bud. I'll see you soon.
Appreciate you, Jim. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime, man.
All
Talk
right.
to you soon.